Hello students, in this video we will see the C program to find the largest element in an array. For this I have opened the online GDB compiler, and here we are performing the C program to find the largest element from an array. Okay, so here first what I want to do, I want to find out the largest element from an array. So for just like accepting the values of an array, so we need to declare array first, right? So here a is my array, and I'm just assigning the initial size is like 20. That means 20 values you can stored into this a array, which is of type integer. That means you can store integer values into this a array. So this is the declaration, and again here I am accepting the value, like how many values you want to store into an array. So just enter the values of an, just I am writing entered how many values you want to entered into an array. So this is the message that I will get on the terminal. After that I want to scan the value. So just in n variable I am just accepting that n value. Now here I want to accept that n values from the user, like n values from the user, and that I am going to store into an array. So for that purpose again I want to repeat the steps like accepting the values. So for that purpose I am using the for loop, and that for loop is started from the 0 and which will end at like n minus 1, and here you can see the I plus plus. After that what I want to scan the values. So you can see I am using the scanf function. This is the format specifier, like for integer we are using %d address of a of I. So this I is what the counter variable we can say, and we are accepting the values like for a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, likewise we are accepting. So this is for accepting the values. Now the same thing I want to repeat for the printing purpose, like displaying purpose. So I'm just using the same thing, only what I am changing, instead of scanf I am using printf, and I am removing that address of operator. So here you can see this is for displaying the values, displaying values of an array. So this is for accepting, and the second one is for the displaying values of an array. So now I have accepted the values and displayed the values. Now the next task we can say, I want to find out the largest element of an array. So suppose you can see, suppose you have entered like for a of 0 you have entered the 12, for a of 1 you have entered like 34, for a of 2 you have entered like 45, and for a of 3 suppose you have entered like 9. Next for a of 4 you have entered like 10 we can say. So now as of for explaining this, suppose my n value is what, 5. So for 5 here like starting index is the 0 and end index is n minus 1, that means 4th. Okay, so from here we have accepted the 5 values from the user, and these are my values, and these values are stored into this particular position. So array index is always start from the 0. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to find out the largest element from this array. That means we have a 5 elements, and from these 5 elements I want to find out which one is the largest one. So what is the logic for finding? So what we are doing, we are just saying that my first number is the largest one. Okay, so for that purpose what we are doing, we are just using another variable, like we can say the large as my variable, Here again I have not declared that n and I. So here I am taking large as my one variable, and I am telling that ki my first value of an array, so the first value, like which one, a of 0, is my largest one. So whatever value is there in a of 0, that means at first in the indices, so that value is assigned to the large variable. Okay, and now for the next iteration, what I will do, I will just comparing that 12 value with the next value, like 12 is with the 34. I am just checking that key is this greater. If so, again I am replacing that large value with this 34. Okay, so let me write the logic for that, and again the whatever like comparing steps I am performing, so that steps I want to repeat up to the last point. Okay, so for that purpose, that means this comparison is like performing the multiple times, that means the here repetition is there. So for that purpose I am using the loop. Okay, so you can see my first value is assigned to the large variable, right? That means I want to start from the first index, like 1. So here I am using I is equal to 1. I am not writing 0. If you want to use, you can use, but again I am just skipping one iteration, so that will again like for efficient programming we can use like this, or we can say for here I am just reducing the one iteration, so that's why I am using I is equal to 1, then I is less than n and I plus plus. So this is of the for loop. Now what I want to do here, I want to compare that. So what I want to compare, I am comparing the large value with the rest of the values, like this large, that means the first 12 is compared with the 34, then again it will compare with the next. So that's why I have written like this, the comparison, we can say the comparison between the array elements. Okay, so here if this condition is true, that means if this condition is true, that means the if large is less than a of I, then what we are doing, we are assigning that a of I value to the large value. That means here you can see that the 12 is less than 34, condition is true. Here 12 is less than 34, so what we are doing, we are just assigning that 34 value to the into the large. Okay, and in earlier the large content 12, now the large content 34, that means we have replaced that value by 34. So this is the code for doing that. Okay, now you can see again this step is repeating up to the last position, and in large we have a largest element. So this whole code is for what, key actual logic for finding the let me write that, finding the large value or the largest element, we can say. From an array. So this is what the main logic. Now my large value is there in the large variable, I just want to print that. So I'm just writing key largest value is equal to percentage d, and that value is there in the large variable. Okay, so here again I want the message like this. Here that largest value I want on the new line, so for that purpose I am using this, and here I am just writing the message like printf entered the array values. Now let me run. Yeah, here I need to type the comment. Yeah, you can see how many values do you want to store into an array. Suppose I want to store the 5 values. Okay, so you can see enter the values, array values. Okay, so suppose first value is what, 12, the next value is 34, next value is 45, next is 9, and the next is 4. And you can see the enter, these are my displaying array elements. So and after that the largest value is 45. So you can see the successfully it has printed the largest value of an array. Okay, now one thing you can remember here, I have used here the I is equal to 1, but if you want to use the 0 you can use that. So let me again modify that and let me run. So suppose now 3 values I want to store, the 12, 34 and 9. You can see the largest one is the 34, but what is the main we can say the purpose to write here 1, to reduce the one iteration. So that's why I have used the 1 over there. Okay, so this is the code for finding the largest element from an array. Thank you.